Hey guys, I'm right here, and as you know, the Elixir Golem was just recently announced to be coming into the game in Season 4 of Clash Royale. And with Season 4 coming really soon, this means that there's also going to be a round of Season 4 balance changes that will be coming into effect. So today, I will be giving a list of 8 cards that I want to see Clash Royale balance in the October update of Clash Royale. Of course, these are just my opinions, so if you disagree with them, tell me why in the comments section below. But before I get into the video, if you could please leave a like and subscribe to the channel, that would greatly help me out. Also, go check me out on my socials, links in the description, but let's not waste any time and let's get right into the list. Number 1, Fisherman. So the Fisherman obviously took this meta by storm. He's seen in almost every single meta deck out there in every single archetype. So of course he needs a nerf in this next month. So what do I want to see? Well, I don't want to see Clash Royale kill the card. It's honestly really fun, and if they do kill the Fisherman, I will be very disappointed. What I want to see personally is I want to see the Fisherman's hook time increased. So that way, when he's hooking onto those units, he takes just a little bit longer to pull them in. This allows for, a few units to maybe sneak a hit on the tower here and there or something like that. Overall, increase the skill to use the Fisherman and also makes him just a little bit less effective in this meta as a whole. Number 2. The Witch. Of course, the Witch is getting a rework in the October update. This has been confirmed multiple times on Reddit, and to be honest, I have absolutely no idea what it is. So here is my take on the Witch. I want to see the Witch have a decreased skeleton spawn speed and then have it increase her HP even more. So essentially what I wanted to do is it will actually survive Fireball Log. But wait, don't go in the comment section and roast me or something. I want the skeleton spawns to decrease by a lot. And my goal for the Witch is that the Witch can actually maybe become a somewhat of an alternative to the Baby Dragon. As you know, the Baby Dragon is pretty much the only card that can splash, hit air, and is somewhat of a tank. So I think if the Witch was also somewhat like that, it was a little more tanky, and it still spawns skeletons, but a lot slower, it could maybe find a way into a few decks where that Baby Dragon was before. Number 3. Night Witch. Now, of course, both of the Witch sisters aren't doing so hot. The Night Witch actually is barely even used, and even in Golem decks, many players have resorted to using the Fisherman or the E-Drag instead of the Night Witch. So with the Night Witch, what I want to see maybe with the Night Witch is for her to be a Fireball bait unit. Now, this is definitely going to be an interesting change because Night Witch originally was also seen in Bridge Spam, and I think if she has a Fireball bait element, she not only will still be viable in Golem, but she'll also be seen in a few other archetypes as well. Now, obviously, just making her die to Fireball isn't enough. I think she should obviously have an increase in damage to also compensate for that nerf. Number 4. Zappies. Now, the Zappies honestly haven't been seen all that much in this meta. They're basically seen in like one Fireball bait deck, and that's about it. What I think Zappy needs is another rework. So, Clash Royale did hint at a rework that they were working on in the past, and honestly, I do agree with it. So, what I want to see with the Zappies is I want their cost to be increased from 4 to 5 and make there be 4 Zappies instead of 3 Zappies. Now, what this does is it allows the Zappies to be a lot better at splitting lanes. Since you can split them 2 and 2, it allows them to much better deal with a lot of the control and bridge spam decks that are everywhere in this meta. Also, what I want to see is a faster first attack speed. Of course, as you know, like the Prince can just take out the Zappy, or a Sparky can just absolutely obliterate the Zappies before they even lock on. So if there's a faster first attack, hopefully that will allow the Zappies to be just a little bit more effective and justify their use in a few more decks. Number 5. Barbell. Now, the Barbell is probably one of the cards that has been balanced the most amount of times in Clash Royale, but right now, it's sitting a little bit on the weaker end. It's not used that much, and honestly, it's just not that effective in this meta, especially since its damage isn't too much. So with the Barbell, what I want to see is a little bit of a faster first attack from the Barbarian. Again, I want to emphasize little. Do not Do not buff that faster first attack by a lot. Please don't. Anyways, what this buff will do is that it'll help that Barbell be a little bit more of a substitute for that log, which is definitely a lot more popular in this current meta. In addition to that, since Expo is so popular in this meta and Barbell used to be what kind of kept that Expo in check, if the Barbell was a little bit more effective, that would also be an indirect nerf to that Expo. Of course, if Clash Royale were to just straight up nerf the Expo's HP, I wouldn't complain too much as well. But honestly, I would prefer a slight indirect nerf to that Expo instead of an actual nerf. Number 6, Fire Spirits. Faster first jump. Now, the Fire Spirits are a card that can just get so much value, but surprisingly, it has such a low usage rate in pretty much the entire game. So the Fire Spirits, what I want to see is a slightly faster jump speed. That way, you know, the Fire Spirits will be able to jump onto a lot of troops before your opponent has time to react or before something like a baby dragon takes them out. This way, the Fire Spirits can be played a lot more reactively, and the player also won't have to worry as much about those Fire Spirits being taken out. Now, of course, a Fire Spirit buff will mean that the Furnace also gets a indirect buff as well, which moves us on to the next card. Number 7, the Furnace. So, with the Furnace having those slightly improved Fire Spirits, this may also justify a very slight Furnace nerf. What I want to see with the Furnace is that a full poison is able to stop all of the Fire Spirits no matter the timing. At the moment, you are able to actually stop a full Furnace with a poison spell, but you have to get that timing very, very precise. You have to make sure that that first wave of Fire Spirits gets clipped once, and that will actually fully stop that Furnace. What I want it to happen is that a slight hit point decrease will allow a poison to fully stop that Furnace without such a precise timing. Of course, Furnace is a card that's pretty much only seen in Royal Giant, so if the Furnace is nerfed, then that might force the Royal Giant decks to kind of evolve a little bit more. It might also be just an indirect nerf to the Royal Giant archetype as a whole. Number 8. And last but not least, this is a pretty small one, but I also want to see a Snowball nerf. Now, my idea for it's pretty interesting. It might not be what you think it is. So what I want to see from the Snowball is a slight damage decrease. Now, I want this slight damage decrease to be so small that it actually doesn't change any interactions, but I just want it to be so that the Zap spell just does a little bit more damage than the Snowball. This way, the Snowball still has, you know, its advantages with the knockback and the slow, but the advantage of the Zap is that it can fully reset as well as do a little bit more damage as well. This could encourage a few players who run Snowball to say, you know, hey, maybe I do need that little bit of extra spell damage and will actually run Zap instead of the Snowball. So there we go. Those are 8 cards that I do want to see balance in this October balance update. Now, let me know what you think about these cards, as well as a few others that I did not put on this list. So, of course, leave any thoughts you have in the comment section below. But unfortunately, guys, that's all I've got time for in today's episode. If you enjoyed, please leave a like down below, as well as a subscription to my channel. And as always, this has been Legendaray, and I'm signing off. See you guys next time.